Take your time.
Oh, thank you. Hello, everybody. It's such a pleasure to be together here. All the partners and all the SMEs from our partner regions. Don't worry, I'm from Transylvania, which is the slowest region in Romania. So I'll be the opposite of Marcia. But anyway, thank you all of you for all these inspiring presentations. And I think that for me, as a destination manager in Romania, and for our SMEs, I think that all the things that we have seen today is really are the best and lesson that we can bring home and improve our tourism sustainability. So, what was the pathway for our region, Sibiu in Transylvania, towards a quality and sustainable destination? So I'm representing a destination and management organization, and for us it was very important to prioritize sustainability on the public agenda. And that's why we have worked in an ecosystem of public administrations to improve our policy, first of all, be it the national policies, the regional policies, or even the local policies. And then after doing that kind of policy framework, we paid attention to destinations, to smaller destinations, which in Romania are eco-destinations. If for the mass tourism and the more regular tourism, sustainability is not really a priority, Romania instead has a long-term experience in developing eco-tourism destinations. And we are very glad to have in our territory one certified eco-destination and two eco-destinations that are applying to being certified by our Ministry of Tourism. So, and then in the last few years, we got the chance to work in a consortium like European Tourism Going Green 2030 to help our SMEs to be more sustainable. In fact, we started a few years ago when we were European Region of Gastronomy and when we implemented a program called Sibiu Local Breakfast, which, as the name says, focused on local food, local gastronomy. But with this ETGG project, we had a broader approach on what sustainability means. And I think this is very enriching. Also, working in close relationship with our local council, we are in the third year of implementation of a program called the Hiking Years. These programs, in fact, helped us to improve the hiking trails of our region, be it in the Carpathian Mountains or in the hilly area, mostly in the rural areas. Coming back to SMEs and the lesson learned, on the left side we have the benefits and the lessons and the good lessons learned, or the key lessons for us during this period of time. I don't know, do you hear me well? Because I have an echo in my ear. No? It's okay? Okay. Thank you. Okay. So I think that what I have to say from the very beginning is that the SMEs who are here with me these days, they are all small-scale accommodation units. They are family-run accommodation units. And what is important is that, in fact, they created a community, a network of really engaged managers in their local communities, in their, what we are saying, community-based tourism. Then what is also important is that they are not only managers for their own accommodation units, but I think they are the genuine, the most authentic promoters and ambassadors for the cultural and the natural heritage of Transylvania. We are also glad to have this kind of small-scale accommodation throughout our territory, because in fact we are also a human-scale destination. Sibiu region is not a mass tourism region, it's a region made for sustainable tourism, for slow tourism, for ecotourism. But we are not an unknown region. Our main city, Sibiu, has been a European region of gastronomy, but also a former European capital of culture. Last year, one of our villages is among the villages awarded by the World Tourism Organization, a village Rășinari, in one of our villages. So as small as we are, I think it's good that we are present on the international scale. Then, let's look a little bit at the challenges we are having. One of the main challenges for, as I said, family-run businesses is that certification standards are quite bureaucratic. They are quite overwhelming in terms of preparing documentation, in terms of having like procedures, management procedures. And this is something we have to work on a little bit more. Then it is said that what you cannot measure, you cannot evaluate, you cannot improve. I have to say that we also have this kind of challenge. We need to have more indicators in order to be able to evaluate and to, I don't know, celebrate our success or improve the roadmap. There is also another challenge you don't like. It's the customers we sometimes have, who maybe they are not the most wise people concerning the local cultural heritage, concerning the nature, the beauty of nature, or concerning our care for resources. And here is also another thing to work on. Even the environmental infrastructure, all the public infrastructure that could support tourism SMEs to be more sustainable in terms of environmental friendly policies is not at their optimum size. And we are working with our public authorities to improve this infrastructure as well. We have a lot of opportunities, of course, and the European programs are one of the big opportunities we have to seize, but also I have to say that there are a lot of opportunities for digitalization, but less opportunities in terms of investments. And our local businesses, they really need investments to preserve their heritage, their buildings, and to make investments for sustainability. Okay, in this general context, what are the pioneers from the region of Sibiu who are part of this program, and how do they look? Okay. So, I haven't mentioned that throughout this project, they have been assisted by two organizations. One of them, our mentors, is the Association for Ecotourism in Romania. And the second one is the organization called My Transylvania, which is famous for bringing local resources into new perspectives. Together with them, our SMEs decided that for the urban SMEs from the region, they will pick the EU Eco-Label. The EU Eco-Label is managed in our country by the Ministry of Environment, and it will be a challenge, in fact, to receive this label. We don't have the experience of Austria concerning the Eco-Label, so we'll be the pioneers in Romania. There is no EU Eco-Label in tourism so far. And I will start with Jules Home. Jules Home, our first SME. This is a family-run business. The wives, they are here, Ramona and her husband. They are so passionate about what they are doing, and they are looking in everything they are doing. They are looking for quality and performance. And their rooms, they are in this wonderful building in the city center of Sibiu city, and it's such a generous place to innovate in everything. And this is seen in everything they are doing, from the knitted house slippers to the local products they're offering at breakfast, to the events they're organizing to teach local chefs how to cook with local produce. They are also offering cultural tastings to make our local cultural identity better known. They are even organizing Christmas markets for our local crafts. So they are all engaged in the community, be it an urban community. So the local ecosystem is in their DNA. The second urban guest house we have is Hotel Republic. Hotel Republic is not in the fortress, let's say, of Sibiu. It's outside the walls. It is owned by one of the most engaged cultural guide of Sibiu. He was a local cultural guide at the fortified church in Sibiu, then an international guide. And his experience is reflected in Hotel Republique, where after, let's say, a long cultural sightseeing in Sibiu city, after a lively dinner in the city center, you'll have everything you need in a city area. You have the quick access to rooms, thanks to online booking system. He's very engaged in optimizing everything. Jonas could be the best trainer in optimization, and he is valorizing all digital tools to improve what they are doing. Adriana, who is today with us, is, let's say, how shall I call you, Adriana? How shall I call you? But you are taking care of everything in order for the guest to get the best recommendations to discover our region. I know that you are behind everything, and right now with us, she is doing the hard work with the bureaucracy of applying for this EU Eco Label. And thank you for your engagement, Adriana. Okay. Now, let's visit our rural areas. I will take you to one of our most, let's say, archaic rural area in Sibiu. It's a pastoral region, which is famous for the transhuman shepherds who have traveled the world with their cheese. And right now, the cheese from our region is the most known. One of our guest houses, which unfortunately is not here with us, they have a small house restored in a former craftsman from the region. They also provide a lot of sightseeing options in the region, and they even they are doing hand-drawn maps to show their customers what they have to visit in the region. I haven't mentioned it, but I think that for all of you and for all of us destinations involved in sustainability, the length of stay is the most important. That's why when we are saying that there are so many things to do in our own community and in the close vicinity, in fact, what we have in mind is that we have so many things to do in our territory that visitors should stay longer. And this is what all of our managers are trying to do. Okay, the second one. A former student in tourism, now the mayor of his community. In fact, he is the mayor of the smallest community in our region, with only 500 inhabitants. But he is right now working with all of them to redefine the way we are using local resources for the well-being of their community through ecotourism. Daniel, who is here with us, he's running for a marathon to save the mountain cheese. He has worked with us to rehabilitate an entire infrastructure of hiking trails, and he's the best guide for his guests on these hiking trails, for his guests to discover the transhuman culture of the shepherds in the mountains. Yes, actually, there are so many things to say about all of you, but I don't want to keep with the timing. Okay, right now I'm going through another region, which is the Transylvanian Highlands. It's the hilly region of our area, as I've said before, an eco-destination. And here we'll meet Mihai Barbu and his wife, Bianca, who are here with us. Mihai and Bianca, I think that they are the new generation of entrepreneurs who are really giving their entire life to save rural communities. Their passion for biodiversity, for local culture, for local architecture is seen everywhere. In the way they are organizing their horse riding tours in Transylvania, from the way they are involving locals and giving a future for these locals. They question about their future as a family in remote rural areas in Transylvania, but they also come with solutions, how to valorize and how to use resources in a sustainable way in order for the locals to have a future in their own village. They are They are a model for the entire region, and they are very invested in biodiversity projects. And the guests who goes and with Bianca, they are not just simple guests. They become part of a family. And this is something also to look for. Okay, close by, going with a horse from Bianca's guest house to Marian's guest house, we are arriving, no, not to Christian's guest house. We are arriving in Almavia. Okay, I have some notes here. In Almavia guest house. Yes. This is a small guest house, a very small guest house, which is owned by Mihai Eminescu Foundation, which is a very active foundation in Transylvania for the restoration of our cultural heritage. But in this specific case, we have Alexandra, who is a local, who takes care of this guest house, and she knows that by taking care of her visitors, she'll have a future in her community. Alexandra, she cooks for her guests. She goes and pick ingredients from the neighbors' gardens. She even cooks vegan because she realized that with all the hikers and the horse riders we have in the region, we need to cook vegan. And she also has another important job in Transylvania, the one of being the keykeeper for the fortified church. Transylvania is known as also as the country of fortified churches, which are Saxon legacies in our region, so German legacy in our region. And Alexandra, she has this key, and she brings her guests to visit the church. The church has been restored by the foundation, and it has been transferred into an interpretation center for culture. There, the community is organizing all kinds of events. It's really the center of the community. So they are giving a future to these rural areas. The neighbor of this guest house is another guest house. Sorry. Which is Almavia guest house. We have Marian here with us. Marian and Mike, a couple. Let's say they build their dream in a picturesque village in Transylvania. Marian, she's a chef. She beautifully restored a rural guest house and transformed it into guest rooms, where traditional restoration is mixed with contemporary design and with, let's say, technologized measures for sustainability. The barn is used for local family events. The food is also local. She cooks in an amazing way. In fact, our second workshop was organized in Marian's house, and we all enjoyed the beautiful atmosphere. From the pond that you are seeing, the pond is overlooking the fortified church and this picturesque village in Transylvania. Okay, close by. In fact, you know, when you are coming and discovering our village, our region, you could see all of them and have like a 10-day tours, and you will enjoy all of our cultural heritage and natural heritage we have. So, close by, in Rikish, we have Paul and Catrinel. Paul is an international guide, has just come from an exotic country, but when he's not doing international tours, he's working with his wife, Catrinel, to receive guests in also a small guest house in Rikish community. Catrinel, she's very skilled in communication, and through communication, she succeeds to select the best customer they want. Because in fact, one of their objective is to receive the appropriate people, the people who will stay longer, the people with whom they will have a glass of wine in the evenings. They have like family rules they pass to their host, and that's how, and through recommendation, they succeed to have the right customers for their house. I also have to say that all of these guest houses, they are linked by the fresh new, it's okay, by a fresh new long trail, long hiking trail, which is Via Transilvanica. Via Transilvanica could be walked, or it can be accessed by bicycle or by horse. So, close to Rikish. Copsa Mare. Yes, I have to say that I'm a little bit tired at this hour, but I will not skip Giovanna. Giovanna, she's an authentic Romanian, as her name says. Now, Giovanna Bassetti is an Italian, very famous in our region, because I think that she's the most professional host in the region. She's the guardian of the cultural heritage in Transylvania. She's a model for the way of restoring a traditional, century-old house in the region, and she has been an example for all the managers in tourism for years. I mean, I think for 15 years, Giovanna is looking for the heritage of her community, and she keeps attention. She's never busy not to take care of everything that's going on in her small village. She supports organizations that also work for biodiversity. She has a product based on biking trails, biking tours, and she also has another important feature. Let's say she is a trainer for the people in the rural areas. She trains them to be part of our tourism ecosystem, because in fact, as it was said before, local people and the way we train them is very important. But when you have a family-run business, in fact, it's like as managers, they are the ones that train the local people, and they bring skills into communities, and as I said, they bring really a new future for them. So, in the same commune as Giovanna and Paul, Biertan, in fact, is the main village of this commune. Biertan is our cultural UNESCO site, and Oppidum Guest House has the advantage of being just behind this impressive fortified church. Anișoara and her husband, she will welcome her guests in this tiny guest house as well. They have an incredible garden, which is the best place to sit after a long cultural discovery, and have a local-made syrup or a local-made confiture. They are also working with local people, and I think that the ladies you are all working with, they are the ambassador for our gastronomic heritage. And I have to say that Anișoara and Giovanna, they are not, it's not their first relationship with a certification system. Giovanna has been already certified with a national certification standard, and Anișoara has another guest house which is as well certified. Last but not least is Cornel, another ambassador of his small spa resort village. Cornel, in his usual life, he is a manager of big hotels or medium-scale hotels. But the passion is here in Bazna, in his small guest house, where he preserved the painted wood furniture. Each year, he's welcoming the entire people from the tourist sector in his garden for a Transylvanian brunch. He opens a series of Transylvanian brunches in his guest house. He's also guiding his guests on the hiking trail and on biking trails around the village. He's paying a lot of attention to keeping the nature intact. And he's also a part of Via Transilvanica trail. If you walk on Via Transilvanica, you have to stop at Cornel's house, because he will provide a stamp to prove that you have been there. All these people are so much involved in what they are doing, And for us, as an organization, they are our, let's say, the main USPs of our organization, the main unique selling proposition that we want to bring forward from now on. The journey for us, of course, it has not ended. For none of you has ended. But this month, all of them, they will be audited by the certification system. So there will be this big challenge to work with papers. But I have to say that we are all committed to look for a different future for our communities. And all I have to say is that I thank all of you to put so much energy in being as they are and in being these development leaders for their own communities and as a whole for Transylvania. Thank you.